And with dimensional data analysis, I find that that's how pivot tables work. There are these query viewpoints that we work from. And the query viewpoints, I thought about this a while back as to, how do I audit a database and do what I do from an auditing perspective. And what I figured out is that I end up running a lot of queries as well as data mining tests, and we'll show you kind of the difference between the two today in these examples. But I always like thinking about it as this who, what, when, where, and why. And when you think about that from a dimension point of view, that your data has these dimensions, the cube of data has this who, what, when, where, and why in it, you're able to very quickly start summarizing things by the who is entering it, by what are they entering, suspense or non-standard journal entries, when it's happening in the time frame, where they're posting it, maybe even location, department, profit center, etc., and why. Why is something where you may want to look at some of strange activities, things like unique account sequences or round dollars or things that are happening late at night in the system. Why is someone staying late at night to process things in the system? So these are all the types of dimensions that you can work from. And just to explain the right side of it, the data mining and querying, I find that data mining is where you really are playing around with your data and trying to very quickly try to analyze, more or less, summarizing things and just seeing based on the summary what looks weird. Just as an example, one thing that might look weird to people is just taking a payroll file and summarizing it by employee and adding up the hours in a year. So it's summarizing by the who in that particular case, and then from that who we essentially get a sense of how much is being processed in each one. And just looking at people that are over, say, 2,500 hours. Why are people posting that many? It's that much in overtime plus their standard hours. And, again, you may find people in there that have 4,000 hours, 5,000 hours. Makes almost to a point where it makes no sense, that they're working like 15-hour days every day. And that's where data mining comes in, where you really don't know what you're looking for exactly. But by just summarizing things, you can learn some things about the data. Querying is where you really know what you're looking for. It's let's look at people that are posting things over after 10 o'clock at night on a weeknight. That is a query. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I'm going after it. So what journal entries don't net out to zero, that kind of thing. And I think just explaining the top of this cube, there's direct control, which are basically you're auditing the control itself, be it, for an example, do we have any duplicate payments in the system? So, do we have, when we summarize things by invoice number and vendor, do I have any things that are more than one? That would be a direct control type test if the system had a duplicate test type control. Control circumvention is where you're looking for things like people that are posting multiple entries right under a journal entry limit. That would be control circumvention, and something where you're thinking up, what can people do to get around the system. Again, I wanted to give you this dimensional view because that's what pivot tables are all about. It's trying to take it from this perspective, and the reason I spent so much time on this is because I really had to think about it when someone asked me, how do you do what you do? I really had to think, well, it kind of goes down to these journalistic type questions. Whenever we write an article, who, what, when, where, and why gets in there somewhere. So in a more specific way, let's take the general ledger and just a few tests. I won't spend the time to go through every one of these, but just to say, from a who point of view, summarizing it by who entered it. From a what point of view, what are those entries that have repetitive sequences or unique account sequences? extracting non-standard journal entries versus standard journal entries. Maybe taking a look at the amount field. What are those amounts that are being posted a lot? Do we have a lot of pennies, for example, 1 cent, that is being posted to the general ledger over and over and over again? Why? It's just something like that. From a when point of view, obviously, weekends, holidays, just looking at it, I have to say one of my larger audit findings that I found came from just taking a look at the daily processing of general ledger activity and just seeing on one particular day where there was all of this activity posting in the billions of dollars, and going back to the client, it was found to be an error and something that they then a couple of days later had to correct. And again, you can kind of see that in that daily type analysis. From a where point of view, are they posting it to suspense accounts? Is it to problem accounts? Is it to debits in the revenue account? Whatever it be, these are all things that you can do. And then the why. These are the weird tests. Do I have the word plug or net to zero in there? Do I have round multiples of $1,000 in my journal entries? I like to, for journal entries, in particular, I like to look for $1 million entries. That how many $1 million entries do you have in that particular system? Again, I think that all of these things are things that we can do in pivot tables. And just giving you a quick sense, we're today, just in the general ledger, we're going to go through about 80% of these reports. So, not every one, but we're going to kind of jump through about 80% of these very quickly using pivot tables and showing you how easy it is.